Following the light of the sun, we left the old world. You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. By prevailing over all obstacles and distractions, one may unfailingly arrive at his chosen goal or destination. Riches don't make a man rich, they only make him busier. Gold is a treasure, and he who possesses it does all he wishes to in this world. I want to remind the Lord that, as a good Catholic, I am bound to keep my promises. It is easy to discover what another has discovered before. I am a most noteworthy sinner, but I have cried out to the Lord for grace and mercy, and they have covered me completely. With a heart full of faith, I now go to the new world to plant the cross and proclaim Christ as the King, as I have done in many other regions. I should not proceed by land to the east, as is customary, but by a westerly route, in which direction we have hitherto no certain evidence that anyone has gone. It is the glory of the Lord to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. It is a very honorable undertaking to defend the oppressed. You can buy spices, drugs, and precious woods in India much cheaper than we can now buy them. It was the Lord who put into my mind. I could feel His hand upon me. There is no question that the inspiration was from the Holy Spirit. To serve these majesty, and also to gain as much gold as possible, and to conquer the Gentiles and bring them to the Christian faith. And the sea will grant each man new hope, as sleep brings dreams of home. I should not proceed by land to the east, as is customary, but by a westerly route, in which direction we have hitherto no certain evidence that anyone has gone. I am not solicitous to examine particularly everything here, which indeed could not be done in 50 years, because my desire is to make all possible discoveries and return to your highnesses. Thus, after having discovered everything of which I could think, I began to understand that I was laboring in vain. God made me the messenger of the new heaven and the new earth, of which He spoke in the Apocalypse of St. John after having spoken of it by the mouth of Isaiah, and He showed me where to find it. I have always read that the world, both land and water, was spherical. As the authority and researches of Ptolemy and all the others who have written on this subject demonstrate and prove, as do the eclipses of the moon and other experiments that are made from east to west, and the elevation of the North Star from north to south. I am a most noteworthy sinner, but I have cried out to the Lord for grace and mercy, and they have covered me completely. It is a good idea to seek a country that is inhabited and has a good harbor. I do not place much faith in the harbors, although I have been able to prove that those I attempted to explore were the best. For the execution of the voyage to the Indies, I did not make use of intelligence, mathematics, or maps. Surely I am the most unlearned of men, and I have not had the opportunity to learn except by hearing the lessons from the books of the minor scholars, whom I have for instructors. I have already said that for the execution of the enterprise of the Indies, neither reason, nor mathematics, nor world maps were of any use to me. Only an expression of the prophet Isaiah was sufficient for me. With a hand that could be felt, the Lord opened my mind to the fact that it would be possible to sail from here to the Indies. All who heard of my project rejected it with laughter, ridiculing me. Let those who have theories about the truth test them. Let those who hold doctrines demonstrate them. It is not fitting that the letters of your highnesses should be exposed to the guesses of the common herd. They called to me, all the sailors together, and as I would not listen to what they had to say, and was determinedly proceeding on my course, a great shouting began, saying I was a fool. There was much crying out. The air soft as that of Seville in April, and so fragrant that it was delicious to breathe it. I am not solicitous to examine particularly everything here, which indeed could not be done in 50 years, because my desire is to make all possible discoveries and return to your highnesses. And I say that your highnesses ought not to consent that any foreigner does business or sets foot here, except Christian Catholics, since this was the end and the beginning of the enterprise, that it should be for the enhancement and glory of the Christian religion, nor should anyone who is not a good Christian come to these parts. And I say to you that the sign which convinces me that our faith will prevail in all these parts is the message of Isaiah. By the grace of God, I am a Christian, and by that same grace, I desire to live and die